Welcome into the Slobberknocker Sports Podcast, episode 98.
98.
We are approaching 100 episodes. It'll be in November that we hit the 100 mark, so we've been doing this thing for a long time now. We're going to keep doing it.
Special game guest Jeremiah. He's going to come on 100th
Supposedly. We've been hearing this for 100 weeks, and it's not yet to happen. And that's including
Who even knows if he's a real person?
Yeah, that's a
bot,
good,
or he's
a good
bot.
point. Yes, like his Twitter account. Oh, that's Trey, sorry.
First of all, how dare you go after Trey's Twitter account? Okay, he's got like 8,000 followers.
What a great week. What a great week in football. We had the Texas Longhorns win. My Vanderbilt Commodores took down Brian Kelly and LSU, and Texas Tech went down. So great week in college football. Notre Dame irked out a win against USC. Lucky
Longhorns
win.
Juggernaut look
Longhorns,
fantastic.
5-2, baby. Moving on. Check that win column. A win's a win. You move on.
Thank God they have the greatest offensive mind in football calling plays for
Damn
him.
straight.
And the second coming of Christ playing quarterback.
Well, a lot of time left to develop.
Squeeze by Kentucky.
Yeah, I know. Hey, your boy Lane Kiffin lost to Kentucky last year, so not an easy place to play. Actually, that game was in Oxford.
You were playing. I think the kid you were playing at quarterback was a walk-on that was from Lexington.
Probably. He was balling. Guy was really good. Texas did a good job.
Fantastic.
What a goal line stand at the end by the defense. Studs up front on that defensive line. Lots of NFL talent. Texas, they'll be fine. Okay. On the topic of Texas Tech, let's go to the Brookie of the Week, and I'm going to go to the team that beat Texas Tech this week, and I'm going to go to Sam Leavitt. Leavitt was 27 for 48 for 319 yards and a touchdown. He was not supposed to play in this game. We saw the line at 11.5 early in the week.
He was completely fine.
And he comes out and plays a great game, and they take down Texas Tech as a touchdown underdog in Tempe. And look, Arizona State's back in the race now for the Big 12 championship. They're the second favorite in the odds market to win the Big 12 behind Texas Tech. Very possible we get a rematch there on Championship Saturday in early December. That would be a fun one, and hopefully Texas Tech will have Baron Morton back at quarterback at that point, although you think the backup's better, so maybe it went
No, I don't necessarily think he's better. I think they're not. Hammond, when he first came in, played pretty well. He looked pretty bad against Arizona State. The whole offense looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
They didn't play a good game. Arizona State's much better than Kentucky. I'm sure you'll have an argument about that, but they are.
Right.
And anyway, they beat them.
Right. So I disagree, but okay.
No, you don't. It's the dumbest thing. Arizona State would be favored by 7 against Kentucky.
Yeah, they would. But regardless, Texas Tech lost and Texas won, and that's all that matters. Okay.
You could spin fucking anything.
If you don't have a Brookie, I can go do a second one here. Do you have one?
Oh no, I don't have a Brookie.
I'll go a quick second one. How about Haynes King? Georgia Tech 7-0 for the first time since 1966 that they are ranked number 7 in the country. First time since 1996 that they started a season 7-0. He threw for 205 yards. He ran for 120. He's been beaten. He's been battered. He's been banged up, and he just keeps coming back for more. And he's got the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets up to a top 10 ranking. A&M, that's what you get for letting him go. He is much better than Marcel Reed. And how about Haynes King? Balling again. I think Georgia Tech has a legitimate chance to win the ACC. I mean, Miami goes down last week.
Oh, yeah, they certainly could. I didn't see Miami. I mean, we didn't think Miami would lose. We don't think Louisville's great. It was just the Carson Beck effect.
And you look at the rest of their schedule.
They had Black Jesus playing quarterback. If they were snapping the ball to freaking Malachi Tony, I mean, I don't think anybody would beat him. He'd just run around and it'd be impossible to stop him.
He's electric. He might be the most electric player I've seen in college football in the last decade. He's incredible.
I mean, yeah, he's unbelievable.
He touches the ball, he is gone. And you look at Georgia Tech's remaining schedules: Syracuse at home, at NC State, at Boston College, home versus Pittsburgh. Obviously, they're going to get Georgia that last game, but there's a legit chance they're 11-0 here heading into that Georgia game, and 12-0 or 11-1 heading into the ACC title game. In which case, I think if they are 11-1 and they say they go 11-0, lose to Georgia, I don't think it matters whether they win the ACC championship game or not.
No,
they will be in the playoff.
Either way, yeah. It'd be funny. It would be great if they spoiled Georgia's season at the end.
Oh, it'd be great. They should have last year in that quadruple overtime game.
That was a crazy game.
And I believe they changed the rule with timeouts in overtime because they allowed Kirby Smart to call a timeout before every 2-point conversion because every overtime you got another timeout.
Oh yeah, that was I think
they changed the rule because of that.
I do remember that.
I think Georgia Tech actually wins the game if it weren't for that. But anyway, that's my Brookie of the Week. I got one more thing, and it's kind of, we just mentioned it. It's a new award.
Okay.
We're going to call it the Mark Sanchez or the Dirty Sanchez. I don't know. I typed that into ChatGPT. It said Dirty Sanchez is a little too edgy. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, probably, but it doesn't matter. We say all kinds of crazy stuff.
We could also call it the butt fumble of the week, whatever. There's plenty of ways we can go with this.
Yeah.
But it's going to go to the guy you just mentioned, Carson Beck. Carson Beck and the Miami Hurricanes were undefeated. They're number 2 in the country, I believe, heading into last week. Mm-hmm. They're playing Louisville at home, who damn near lost to James Madison week 2. Louisville's not very good. I know Jeff Brom has a good record against top 5 teams. He always pulls some weird upset, but his teams are never elite or great. And this is just a plain the fact of the matter is this is Mario Cristobal and Carson Beck. So it's almost a combo Dirty Sanchez award because to lose that game at home after being in the position you're in where you look like, it's similar to last year. But the difference from last year and this year is I think both of us agree the offensive and defensive lines for Miami are elite this year. And to watch Louisville just run up the middle on them for 4 quarters and to get to Beck as consistently as they did and cause him to do what Carson Beck does, which is throw interceptions. He threw 4 interceptions in this game, including the 4th one in which Miami, who was down by 10 in regulation in the 4th quarter, gets a stop, scores a touchdown, gets the ball back, and has about 4 minutes to go score and win the game or tie the game. And they get into field goal range, and it's 1st and 10 at the 30, and they have a very good kicker. You probably need 10 yards for automatic field goal. You're probably going to make a field goal from there anyway. Worst case scenario, you're going to overtime, and they run I don't know what it was. It was a short route in the flat. They had no timeouts left at this point. This was coming out of a timeout, and it was deflected for Carson Beck and then intercepted for his 4th interception of the game. Miami didn't have enough timeouts to stop the clock.
Then he threw the guy under the bus, too, which is great.
And then that's why he gets this award. He then went on the mic after costing his team the game, the same way he cost his team multiple games last year with Georgia, and he said basically that the receiver ran the wrong route and that they ran the wrong play when they were coming out of a timeout. Okay, so whether you want to believe that or not, it's pathetic that he goes on the mic and says that. But when you're Carson Beck, and last year in SEC play, I think it was 12 touchdowns, 12 picks. This isn't surprising, right? And when the
Carson Beck sucks.
Yeah, when the going gets rough, he leaves. Georgia, Gunnar Stockton's not that great, and he left Georgia to go to Miami, I think because of his girlfriend, who then broke up with them about a week later. So Carson Beck, Dirty Sanchez award this week. Congratulations. Miami has no shot to win a championship. That's what we get for both saying we think they're the best team in the country.
I think anybody when you don't turn the ball over fucking 4 times. I mean, your dad could throw the ball to Malachi Toney, okay? Big Dog could throw it to him. Big Dog would turn the ball over. Short throws to Malachi, they could probably win a football game. But, yeah, Carson Beck is just, I don't know. He's always got loser's limp out there, limping around like he's hurt or something's going on, messing with his elbow on the sideline that he had surgery on. He's always – anyway, I can't fucking stand Carson Beck.
Yeah, I can't either. He's annoying.
He's no good.
Okay, I'm going to pull up quick video. We're going to go bad beats of the week here, Swan Dives of the week. Haven't done this in a while, but I've got 2 good ones here. We'll start with college football. Now, there's going to be 2 bad beats in one game here, so I don't know if you saw this. It's pretty funny. Michigan State taking on Indiana. All right, we're going to pick it up here in the 4th quarter as Elijah Surratt looks to catch a touchdown.
Mendoza.
And it looks like he's in bounds, but it's kind of that toe-to-heel deal where you're not sure if that's inbounds or not. Now, keep in mind,
I've never understood that. Toe comes down first.
I agree, but the line on this game is 26.5. Okay? Indiana's favored by 26.5, and the total on the game is 49.5. Now, it's 3rd and 2 on the 15 of Michigan State, and Fernando Mendoza is going to slide short of the line on 3rd down, and now it's 4th and inches. It looks like Indiana's going to go for it, but for some reason, Jonathan Smith, down 25, takes a timeout there. And What I didn't show here, I'll throw it up on the video when we're editing.
They kicked a field goal?
They actually come out and kick a field goal.
Signetti's
which puts Indiana now covering the number.
He's a
so now
slime ball.
Indiana is covering the number, and Michigan State has one last drive. They're up 28. The line is 26.5, and the total is 49.5. So you need no points on this drive, but Michigan State could only score a touchdown here to cover. The backup quarterback for Michigan State comes in, Alisio Milivojevic. And Mila Jovicic, which I can't say, he's balling. He runs for 11 there, and he's going to start inching his way down the field with the 3-3 Michigan State Spartans. Got a screen pass here, going to get it across the 45-yard line, another first down. Here we go again. Mila Jovicic back to throw. He's going to fire over the middle. It's caught. They're at the 35-yard line, but we're at 1:30 to go. Okay, another play inside the 40. Right side caught. Now you're in business. You're inside the 15, but good job by the Indiana defense. They force him into a 3rd and 12. Mila Jovicic is rolling to his right here. Going to throw back over the middle, and it's incomplete. So now it's 4th and 12, and they got to go for this. But they decide that because Indiana...
I fucking love this move. I love this move more than anything on earth.
Because
everybody, they both know what the line is, and Signetti tried to cover the spread, and Jonathan Smith said, you know what? Fuck you, you slime ball. And he did the same thing. This is, oh my God, I love this. This is petty, and this is what it's all about. Like Signetti knew exactly what he was doing. You never, ever kick a field goal 4th and inches in that situation.
Yes.
Ever.
And
there's no one else on earth that doesn't.
No.
So, yeah, good on him.
And the field goal was good.
That made me happier than anything I thought I could possibly see there.
I'm glad I showed that one.
That is great.
Yeah, so Indiana. Now,
and
unfortunately.
He should have made the field goal and shot a bird over to Signetti and all the fucking fans and said, kiss my ass, you're not covering on me.
I do like Jonathan Smith for that.
Yeah.
He's great. You know, he did that last year, too, on a game I was on the right side of. He kicked a field goal late to cover the spread down like 20.
I think he probably never would have done that. You know what I mean? If Signetti didn't do it, he would not have done it, right? But he's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's great. Great stuff.
And then also, unfortunately, anybody who had the under, that put it over as well. So you lost on that as well.
Fuck them, whatever, yeah.
Okay, we're going to go. We had the NBA started last night. We had 2 games. I know you love the NBA.
I am pumped up about the NBA being back.
I know you are. The Spurs do play tonight. Take it on the Mavericks.
I am interested in the Spurs this year. The rest of the league can kick rocks, but I am interested about the Spurs.
I won't watch games start to finish unless I have money on them. But we're going to pick it up in the 3rd quarter. Now, the total in this game is 227, okay? 227. We're at 154 here, all right? So we're going to need 73 points in the 4th quarter after Shea misses this 3 and the putback from Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, is no good. So we're heading to the 4th quarter. You need 73 to go over this number, okay? Pick it up with 2:05 to go. And Casey Wallace from the right wing is going to bang a 3 to make it a 1-point game, but you know, it's a 1-point game here, so we keep it an odd number. As long as this doesn't go to overtime, if you have the under, you're looking good. 227. Alperen Sengun now, Jeff Vexler's son's favorite player, spinning, throwing up the right hook. It's good. Now the Rockets up 1, back the other way. Cason Wallace for a right wing 3. This time no good, and it's rebounded by the Rockets. Now, the timing is good for the under here because they're going to play this out, right? So as long as you just get a stop here, you're okay. But Kevin Durant's going to get fouled with 9.5 to go.
I forgot Durant was playing for the Rockets.
Yeah, he is. And he did get fouled here. Now, the problem is, the only thing you can have here is as long as he makes both, you're good because, okay, Houston will foul. But Durant, an 88% free throw shooter, and Mike Tirico, who's calling the game because it was on NBC, jinxed him and said he's an 88% career shooter. Misses the first, makes the second. Now it's 2, and now you got to avoid a bucket here, and you know they're not going to give up a 3. So SGA, the reigning MVP, is going to come down, guarded by Amin Thompson, pull up, bucket is down the hatch, and now we're tied. And now you're looking at it, and you're at 2:08.
Let me guess. Durantula misses a mid-range pull-up.
Actually, they go to Sengun here at the right elbow, and he does not touch the rim.
Oh, my God, he was hacked.
And that is going to end regulation, and now we're going to overtime, and you need a low-scoring overtime.
Yeah,
now, you still need 19
you're dead in the water.
In overtime. It's 107-104, only 3 points the first minute and a half. Shea's going to pull up for 3. Now we're at 114. Still 13 points to spare, 3.5 minutes to go. We'll fast forward 2 minutes to go now. This is a big possession because we're at 119. Durant looks to turn it over, gets it back, kicks it out, and Jabari Smith is going to bang a left corner three. And just like that, we're at 222. And now you know you're in trouble here because it's a 2-point game. Now down to 1:15 to go. We're at 223. Chet Holmgren for a right wing three.
Chet,
it's good.
What a player.
The stick knocks it down, and now you can't have any other buckets, and that's going to be really difficult to avoid. You get a nice defensive play here after this missed three. The putback by Chet is absolutely rejected inside.
Oh, good.
And then Chet
Did he
fouls.
get kicked in the face, too?
And then Chet fouls Okogie. First one's good. Now you're pushing, but you're dead already. It's 48.1 to go. Okogie, the pride of Georgia Tech, who we were talking about earlier, played with my boy Ben Lammers, by the way. Josh Okogie, and Holmgren fouled out there, and it was the first time I believe he ever fouled out of a game, I think.
Well, he's a pussy, so that makes sense.
Yeah, second one for Okogie's good, and that's your ticket is in the trash can.
Dead in the water.
It's dead in the water. Okay, and that is going to end our Bad Beats segment, and we'll go into some NFL talk now. We had what a game!
How about them Cowboys?
What a game by the Dallas
America's
Cowboys.
team. Big Dog was fired up. You could see the light come back in his eyes after the game. He was just thinking, you know what? Postseason, we just got to score 40 points every game.
Yep.
And we can sneak into the playoffs.
Yep. And so I have heard some people, there was an article written today that said the Dallas Cowboys offense, could they carry them into the playoffs? They're 3-3-1. They're beating team. They beat the Commanders.
Would Dak
they tied the Packers.
Would Dak be the favorite for MVP right now if they were like 5-1?
Dude, I made this point like a week ago.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. But after this last game,
that's what
especially.
I agree. That's why I said, if you think about it, the defense has been so historically bad. One play in that Packers game, one play in that Eagles game where CeeDee Lamb dropped a couple big balls.
Right.
One play in the Panthers game, and they win those 3 games, and it has nothing to do with Dak, and they are. That would make them 6-1 at this point. It's him and Baker, right? Him and Mahomes, Baker and Mahomes are the 3. And I would argue Dak, if they were 6-1, would be the favorite. I mean, his numbers have been phenomenal. I think he was number 1 in PFF through 6 weeks. He's been awesome. There's nothing you can say negative about Dak Prescott.
Yeah, and he was doing it a lot without CeeDee Lamb.
Without CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, I got to give it to Jerry on that one. That was the only good move he's made in a long time. But yeah,
he's not afraid to bring in convicts, and George is certainly close to that. He's always getting himself into a little trouble, but he's a hell of a ball player.
There's no doubt. Dak's second in the league in yards, 1,808, almost 1,900. Second in the league in touchdowns with 16th. Has just thrown 3 interceptions, and he is first in the NFL in QBR at 81.2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even a Cowboys fan, but just like watching when we're watching either you're out wherever, it's like he looks pretty good. The only game I didn't see, I guess, where he was bad was the Bears game. But, I mean, every game I saw him play, I was like, man, he looks pretty good. He's making all the throws. Only bad throw I remember him actually making was in that Eagles game where he just had to force something where they had to get something going, and it was tipped, and the guy dropped it.
Right.
But other than that, he's been solid.
No, he's been really, really good.
It's a shame they had the little Giants playing defense for him. I mean, they are so bad on defense.
And they actually were okay this week, but they've been so bad most of the year. Yeah, I mean, if by some miracle they become a top 20 unit, is it crazy to say they can make the playoffs? If they became a top 20
could
unit?
I mean, they're not going to win the division, but they could obviously, get a wild card for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and that I do think that tie really hurts. Like if Jordan Love holds onto the ball for one more second, and that ball falls to the ground, and Dallas doesn't tie there, and they're 4-3. They're in second in the division, 1 game behind Philly, right? So just 1 second away from being right there. That tie is going to be tough to overcome. But Cowboys looking good. And how about Javonte Williams? That guy, I mean, kind of people wrote off after his knee injury in Denver. He's been one of the best backs in the league this year. I don't think that's crazy to say. I mean, he has been absolutely phenomenal.
I said that when we were watching. I was like, man, talk about a steal with him. I know they're wishing that they sign him for 3 years instead of it's a 1-year deal, right? I
believe so.
Yeah, so he looks fantastic.
He's carried it 100.
He's playing himself into running backs aren't making a ton of money, but he's playing himself into a nice little contract.
Yeah, he's got almost 600 yards rushing in 7 games, 6 touchdowns, and he's averaging 5.3 yards per carry, which is he's been great. He's been great. what is he, second in the NFL in total rush yards. So, and tied for third in touchdowns.
Yep. He's been really, really solid.
Okay, let's look in the NFL. Oh, I want to bring up another topic here. Did you see this? The exchange between Russell Wilson and Sean Payton.
Kind of briefly.
So,
I saw that they were going back and forth. I didn't know what it was about.
So essentially, if you didn't watch the game, the Broncos-Giants game was one of the crazier endings I've ever seen. I think they said teams down by 18 or more under 6 minutes to go were 0 and 1,061 in NFL history, which is what the Broncos were. And the Broncos scored with like 5.5 to go, used like one of their timeouts, played it perfectly, Dart threw a bad pick. The Broncos score again. They get a stop. They score again and take the lead. Then it looks like the Broncos are going to win the game. And Jackson Dart leads the Giants down the field, and they score. But the kicker misses the extra point. And so now Denver can win with a field goal, and I think there's like 20 seconds to go, and they get in field goal range and bang a field goal and win by 1. They scored 33 points in the fourth quarter.
Will
to win
said
that
it was
game.
rigged. It was all in the script, Will thought.
Well, if it was rigged, I don't know why they called the PI on Denver in the end zone in that last series, because that should have been
it's a script, bro.
4th and 19, and they called roughing the passer and gave him the first down. Yeah, Will has some interesting takes. But so after the game, Sean Payton said in the press conference he was kind of bragging on Jackson Dart, but he used it as a opportunity to shit on Russell Wilson because he absolutely hates Russell Wilson. I don't know what his fascination is. But he said...
Well, Sean Payton's a dick and Russell Wilson's a fucking idiot too. So that's probably from my understanding, no one really on Russell Wilson's team likes him.
No, they don't.
Right. He's just that kind of guy. And Sean Payton traded stuff away, or they spent money to bring him in, and he was just horrible.
I think didn't they get Russell Wilson before Sean Payton? Yeah, because Russell Wilson, that's why he hated him, because he was shoved down his throat.
Certainly could have been.
No, it was because he was
Russell
Wilson's first year was with Nathaniel Hackett. And so then they did, and he was probably pissed that they had done that, and now he gets left with no draft picks those years because of this guy, and he didn't like Russell, and I don't think anybody really likes Russell. Regardless, Did he have to say that after the game? No, he said, what he said was, me and one of the assistants were talking, and we said we were really hoping that they made this switch multiple weeks after they played us, like to Jackson Dart.
Right.
And Russell Wilson then decided to fire back and said, classless, but not surprised. Didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 plus years later through the media. Hashtag let's ride. The hashtag let's ride was great. I got to give it to him.
That's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. At least he's embracing the absurdity of that stupid
Broncos country.
Country. Let's ride.
Nothing like it.
Is this a big deal or is this nothing?
No, it's not a big deal. Sean Payton does this, and Russell Wilson just like, dude, shut the hell up. I mean, it's what Sean Payton does. He takes little digs at people. He thinks he's hilarious. He's not very funny, but he's a good coach. Russell Wilson just needs to retire. I don't know why he's still playing football. Whatever.
He's got
plenty of money.
Is Russell
He's
Wilson
married to like a pop sensation. What's Bailey will know? Yes, Sierra.
Yeah,
there you
even
go.
I know that.
Yeah.
Is Russell Wilson a Hall of Famer?
People say he's going to be.
I don't think he is. That's just my opinion.
The thing is, man, with the NFL, what they do is they take out a lot of. Baseball really doesn't do it, but NFL, like if you were really good for 12 years, right, and you stick around for 5 more or whatever, and you're really bad, they kind of take that into consideration. Baseball is just so strictly based on numbers, like your average, and that a lot of times it hurts people that play too long.
Yeah.
And then you have people voting 10 years later that are like, oh, he only hit 297 when really he should have been hit, 325, and that kills you. But I have a feeling he'll get in.
I'm curious how many quarterbacks, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head, have never won a Super Bowl MVP or a regular season MVP and got in the Hall of Fame.
I'm surprised Russell. I thought he'd never won a regular season MVP.
No, he never. I don't even think he was close. And he didn't win the MVP in the Super Bowl. It was a defensive player. He did
Right.
nothing. He wasn't good. That's the thing is, I know that they'll look at it and they'll say, well, he had a great career. He has historic numbers and he won a Super Bowl. But you could have put any quarterback in there that year and they won a Super Bowl. And then they lost the one that he was supposed to be the best player on the team, and he threw the interception that lost them the Super Bowl. So I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. He could be.
Let's move on.
He's a coin toss.
By the way, how about the Pittsburgh Steelers going down to the Cincinnati Bengals this week? 33 points given up by Tomlin's defense.
That's what Tomlin gets for. He kind of spoke it into existence when the Bengals traded for Flacco, and he's like, "What are the Browns doing? Trading someone in the division?" And anyway, that was probably the most fun game of the NFL season. I mean, that one. Obviously, you were on the wrong end of the Ravens Bills week 1.
Yeah.
But I mean that Steelers Bengals game was crazy. It was back and forth, and it was good to see old Joe Burrow out there slinging it around.
You mean Joe Flacco?
Sorry, yeah.
Joe Burrow is not indeed on the field.
Joe Burrow is my fantasy football quarterback. He's hurt.
Okay, we'll move. Let's go to week 8. Let's look at some week 8 matchups here. We're through 7 weeks in the NFL. Can't believe we're approaching the midway point of the season already. We got a Thursday night game tomorrow, Vikings-Chargers.
Chargers defense looked like the worst defense I've ever seen. The Colts were getting, if you look at it, I bet the Colts, now, I don't know what it was. Through the third quarter, if you just pulled the third quarter, the Colts were getting 10 to 15 yards a play. And they were going down to score in 5 plays. And they did it like 3 times in a row on the Chargers.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they called they're up 21 and they're just trying to manage the game and end it. But every time they touched the ball, I believe, through 3 quarters, they scored.
Yeah, let's see. They scored.
They must have a lot of injuries.
First quarter, okay, they went touchdown, 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 punt, field goal, touchdown, touchdown, punt, end of game. So they punted twice. They scored a touchdown on 5 drives. And they outgained, let's see, what were the final numbers in this game? Actually, funny enough, because the Chargers threw the ball so much, the Chargers actually ended up outgaining them.
You're right.
But the Colts had over a yard per play more in the game. It was 7 yards per play to 6. Herbert threw it 55 times in the game for 425 yards.
Yeah, stupid.
What has happened to the Chargers defense?
I have no idea. I don't know if they were
really good early on. They beat the Chiefs week 1. Held them in check. The Raiders held the 9 points, held the Broncos to 20, held the Giants to 21. And then, like, the last couple weeks, like, the Dolphins put up 27 on them. The Colts put up 38 and probably could have put up more if they really wanted to. But they got a huge lead. You think are the Chargers still a contender, or is this?
It just depends with who's all coming back on that defense. The offense is going to be good. I think the offense lost Hampton as well. Yeah. So, I mean,
they got a lot of injuries.
Tons of injuries. I don't think they're a contender to win a Super Bowl. No, I think they'll still end up being a playoff team. The Chiefs seem to definitely have it going. They'll end up winning that division, but maybe the Broncos if they keep getting lucky and winning crazy games. But I think it'll be the Chiefs. Not going out on a limb there, but yeah, it was like you said. The Chargers looked really, really good through the first couple weeks. So,
question. So it sounds like the Vikings are going to stick with, because this is the game we're talking about, Thursday night game, Vikings at the Chargers laying 3.5. It sounds like they're going to stick with Carson Wentz for at least one more week. Do you think...
Is that because McCarthy's hurt still?
So that's what kind of I'm getting at. So McCarthy, according to Kevin O'Connell, he keeps saying he's improving in his rehab process. However, he also said last week he was the emergency third quarterback. He was active last week.
Right, but I mean that's you could be 60% and be the emergency quarterback.
Correct.
I don't think it's anything to look into. Carson Wentz has not been good when he's been playing.
No, he's not.
His numbers maybe trash time. Like, look, the game against the Steelers,
He was terrible.
He was terrible.
And his numbers probably looked okay.
The Browns game he was also terrible. Led one drive to win the game at the end. Jefferson made a play. He threw at least 2 picks against the Eagles because I saw him. He may have thrown another one. I'm not entirely sure.
2, yeah.
Okay.
2 and no touchdowns.
He has not been good. So it's not one of those, if he was red hot, they'd be like, hey, we're going to stick with Carson Wentz. It's not one of those situations. I think McCarthy's still just banged up.
Yeah, he's thrown 5 touchdowns and 4 picks in 4 starts.
And then not to mention you have, since they're playing this Thursday game, you have 10, it's like 10 more days to get healthy. So
and I guess, honestly, it kind of sucks because the Vikings do have a very good defense, but the odds of this team competing for a Super Bowl this year with any of these guys is almost 0. Right? I mean, their goal should be make the playoffs, right? Get in as a wild card, and McCarthy improve and get experience. So why would they start Carson Wentz going forward, if that was the case? So I think McCarthy's just not fully healthy. But I would like to see McCarthy, and it is a little bit concerning that he gets hurt at the beginning of the year last year. He comes back, he plays 2 games, he's hurt again already, and it's taking a while to get back. It's like, all right, we need, you need to start getting some reps. Like at a point, he can't get injured again. He can't come back, and that's probably partially why they're being conservative with this. He can't come back again and then play 2 weeks and be out for 5 more. Now it's like, okay, well, why did we trade Sam Darnold? Not that Darnold's been great, but he's been pretty solid for Seattle. Let's move on. Let's talk another interesting one on Sunday. Dallas going to Denver. Denver is a 3.5-point favorite. We talked about their comeback last week, but the reality of that game was Denver was pretty much outplayed and dominated for 3.5 quarters, right? Now, the Giants got some lucky breaks. One of Dart's touchdowns was like double deflected and fell into a receiver's arms for a touchdown. But that Giants offense with Dart and Scadaboo kind of did whatever they want for most of the way. And
yeah, it's weird. I don't know what to think about the Broncos defense. On paper, they're really good, but yeah, it was weird to see the Giants do that to them.
And then the offense is even more baffling. Bo Nix has been one of the worst quarterbacks in football, according to a lot of metrics, and then catches fire the last 5 minutes of that game and looks like a Pro Bowler. So I don't know what to expect out of either of those units. What I do know what to expect out of both of Dallas's units. We're going to get a below-average, bad defense, and we're going to get a really good offense. What do you think for this one? Do you think Dallas pulls an upset here?
No, I don't. I think it's going to be the one. Denver looked horrible last week, escaped to the win. I think they'll play well and beat Dallas in this game.
Okay.
I think you see the defense play much better. They were terrible. I think you'll see the defense play better. I'll say the Broncos they win by a touchdown.
Okay.
I just think they'll have their way with Dallas's defense, and I think the Broncos will be able to get some stops against Dallas. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know if they just had trouble accounting for Dart's legs. I don't know how much he ran. I didn't see the game until the third quarter, but that's just another dynamic. I don't have to worry about that with Dak, really, right? So he's not going to be running. I'm not entirely, I haven't seen him play a ton. Obviously, their secondary should be very good.
Yeah. They got Jahdae Barron. They have Surtain. But that said, I don't know anybody in the league who can cover CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. So I don't know how much. I guess if I were picking this game, I probably would pick the Broncos to win. But for my NFL pick'em, I probably will take the Cowboys plus 3.5. Denver,
as your dad would say, prisoner of the moment.
Well, the Giants should have beat them. The Giants should have beat them, and they lost by 1. Yeah. Or they won by 1. They beat the Jets on a neutral by 2. They beat the Eagles by 4.
I know. I'm just saying.
It's a lot of close wins,
yeah,
right?
No, for sure.
Even their losses, the Colts by 1, the Chargers by 3. They just play close games. I think I would take the field goal plus the hook. But I do think the Cowboys will probably lose that game. That's it. But that is a huge game for theirs. If the Cowboys win that football game, and they're 4-3-1, they then go home against Arizona and at the Raiders. They could theoretically win the next 2 after that.
And then they have kind of a gauntlet there. But
they do have a gauntlet there, but if they get into that 5-3-1, and they can get through that gauntlet of Philly, KC, Detroit, the last 4 aren't that crazy. Home against the Vikings, we don't really know what the Vikings are. Home against the Chargers, we don't really know what the Chargers are. The Commanders are up and down, and the Giants are promising, but Dallas, I think, is still favored in that game. So,
this go for the people at home. shame on you for doubting Jerry. All right. He had this thing lined up from the very beginning.
I'm telling you.
He knew. He said, I think we're Super Bowl contenders right now.
They're not. They're not. But I do think that they actually – I'll just say this.
It says one trade away from being Super Bowl contenders.
I believe this. If Dallas beats the Broncos this week, if Dallas beats Denver this week, they're going to the playoffs. That's what I think.
I could see them sneaking in with that extra team. Yeah, I agree.
All right, another kickoff on Sunday. This one's a noon kickoff. Bears, the 4-2 Chicago Bears on a 4-game winning streak.
Caleb.
Going to Baltimore. Going to Baltimore, the 1-5 Baltimore Ravens, who would have thunk it? And I guess Lamar is back this week because they are a 6.5-point favorite here at home against the Bears. Now, the Bears have won 4 in a row. Credit to them. They have beat the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Commanders, and the Saints. Those 4 teams have a combined record, I believe, of
don't cut Caleb down. All right,
below 500.
He's playing great ball.
I don't think any of those teams. I don't think any of those teams have a winning record right now. Regardless, Ben Johnson's doing a good job with Chicago. It's not coming from Caleb. Okay, it isn't.
Oh my God.
Caleb on the season actually has the lowest.
Your dad's not here.
The lowest expected completion percentage.
You'll find a stat.
The lowest completion percentage below expectation. So based on the number of passes, well, this is a real stat. Based on the number,
find him. I know.
This is based on where the receivers are and how open they are. He's expected to be completing 72% of his passes. That's how good Ben Johnson is as a schemer. He's completing 62% of his passes. He's not been great.
Guys are dropping balls.
He's not been great. Their running game has been great. The offensive line has been great. I mean, against the Saints, he was 15-26 for 172 yards and an interception. He had a QBR of 19, and they won by 12 and covered the number, okay? So
the Ravens are going to beat – let's just get into it. The Ravens are going to beat the Bears by 17.
17? Really?
Bloodbath.
My only
coming
concern,
off a bye, bloodbath.
I think you're right. I do think they kill him, and I think that the Bears are a public dog here. My only concern with this is the Bears have been running the ball really good, and the Ravens have one of the worst run defenses in football right now. So, I'm curious. I think they'll just load the box and make Caleb beat them, but I don't know.
The Ravens are going to win 6 in a row.
There's no way.
What's
their
Bears,
schedule?
The Dolphins, the Vikings, the Browns, the Jets, and the Bengals.
Okay, they might win. They might win 6 straight.
Though they're going to go 5-1 during that stretch.
They very well might win 6 straight. That's one of the easier stretches in football.
Yeah. They get Lamar healthy for that, and I believe, funny enough, after this last loss, probably not, but I think 2 weeks ago, before they lost to the Texans, they were still favored to win the division.
Were they actually?
Yeah, when they were 1-3.
There's no way they're favored now. Although the Steelers are only 4-2, it's not like they're way ahead of them. And have they played yet? They haven't, right?
No, they get to play them twice.
Yeah, so they get to play them twice. I mean, if there was a division to be 1-5 in, get healthy and get hot at the right time and make the playoffs, so it would be this division.
Yeah, because the Bengals and Browns are irrelevant, so you're just going after the Steelers.
And we know the Steelers are what the Steelers are, and that's a below 5. Sorry.
Above 500 playoff team that loses in the first round.
That's right. A 500 or better, because he has gone 8-1, right, or 8-8.
Yeah, 500.
500 or better, and it has been 3,142 days since Mike Tomlin's last playoff victory.
It's a fake stat.
It's not. It's a real number, and it will continue to grow every day. Until he, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it grows infinitely, because I don't think he'll ever win one.
He's not going to win a playoff game this year.
I don't think he's going to ever win another one.
His team's going to be above 500, like I stated.
We have a Diet Coke bet on that. I had to have the Bengals pull that upset last week to have a shot, because I can't have them win 9 games. They've got 4 already. So going to be tough with their schedule. It's not the most difficult schedule in the world.
No.
Okay, one more thing I want to talk about.
I just want to talk. What is it?
Go ahead.
Oh, that's about the Buccaneers being horrible against the Lions.
So, well, okay,
the Lions have it's a UFL secondary, and Baker Mayfield could not complete a pass. I get that Mike Evans is not really healthy. I get that Igbuka's not 100%
Well, Mike
healthy.
Evans also broke his clavicle in the game.
Yeah, he's done.
And that was pretty early.
Yeah, he's done for the. Yeah, that was I think
he needs to retire.
Halftime. Whatever. Yeah, he does. But the whole point is, Baker was favorite to win MVP. You go on the road, And I love Baker at this point. I love the way he plays, and he deserves all the credit he's getting. But, I mean, laid an absolute egg in Detroit. I mean, the offense was horrid. I watched the whole game, and I was like, how on earth can they be this bad against this secondary? I mean, they were horrible.
Yep.
Now, given Evans is gone, Igbuka's banged up
He's
still.
probably 65, 70%.
Bucky Irving's out.
Yep.
You know, so, but I couldn't believe how bad he looked. He's just missing all the throws, and I think that makes his record on Monday Night Football or Sunday night or Monday Night Football at like 1-5. He's been pretty bad.
He was not good in that game. Finished with a QBR of 23.7.
Yeah, it was bad.
He was bad. 4.6 yards per pass. I mean, it was the opposite of what we've seen from him this season. And you're right. It's that defense is mixed and matched pieces.
They have nobody in sight, and Branch was suspended. They had literally not one of their starters from their
And you still have, I mean, Igbuka was still out there. Sterling Shepard is still an NFL wide receiver. Tez Johnson's been playing good. Cade Otton is a solid tight end. They didn't have nobody out there, right?
Right.
But yeah, they were, and it didn't help also, they couldn't run the ball. They had 12 carries for 41 yards in the game, which is wild to think about that they had 12 runs and 50 passes in the game. But I will say this about that game and going forward. And I picked them, I bet on them to win the NFC. I bet on them to win the Super Bowl, and I'm standing by it right now. I think the Detroit Lions, I take it back. I didn't actually pick them to win the Super Bowl. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl against the Bills. I picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl. But I do think...
I have the Bills beating the Rams.
You do. And after what I've seen from the Bills the last couple weeks, I don't feel that great about it either.
Feel pretty good about the Rams.
I don't know. The Rams always find a way to fuck it up. But I do think the Lions look like the best team in the NFC, in my opinion. I know they lost to Kansas City a couple weeks ago. That was a must-win, season-on-the-line game for KC. They were getting healthy, and they played in Kansas City in prime time. Mahomes was great. Playing against the Lions secondary, that was super banged up. When the Lions get healthy defensively, it's going to be really, really tough to beat that team. Now, the only reason, if the Lions get healthy, the only reason that the Lions will not reach Super Bowl is noodle arm Jared Goff.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go after my boy.
Who? Dan Campbell?
Oh yeah.
No, I actually like Dan Campbell. I think he does stupid shit and goes for it too much. But I think the only reason is Jared Goff. And watching him in that game against Tampa Bay, I think they had 315 yards in the first half, and they only scored 14 points because Jared Goff on 3rd and long took a sack that pushed him out of field goal range once. He took another sack that pushed a field goal that would have been 47 yards to 55, and it was missed. And right before halftime, they were going in to score, and he threw an interception. And it was a horrific interception, and they were in field goal range. I just don't think Jared Goff is the guy to get you over the hump. And that's sad because I really think the Detroit Lions are the best team in football. And it's incredible to me to lose your offensive coordinator that has shown to be really valuable where he's gone, and he's great, and to still be one of the best offenses, if not the best offense in football right now. What they've done, what Dan Campbell has done is impressive. I wish they had a better quarterback because I think the Lions could win a Super Bowl this year. I don't think it'll happen with Jared. I do think they're going to get there. I don't think the NFC is very strong. I don't know who's better than them right now. To me, if Detroit's healthy, Tampa's not touching them. You could say Philly, but Philly doesn't look good at all. The Rams
and the Commanders are just banged up. I honestly think the Rams are probably the second best team in the NFC right now.
That's probably fair. Yeah, that's probably fair.
And Puka's not. I mean, he didn't even play in London. They beat the shit. I mean,
he did not play in
London. They beat the shit out of the Jags.
Yeah, but it's the Jags.
Oh, show some respect.
Well, I mean, it'd be one thing if they had Doug Peterson.
But Doug Peterson laid the foundation for that team.
Yeah, that's what happened. Sorry, one more question. Commanders go to Kansas City.
Yeah,
on Monday night.
Daniel's already ruled out.
He's ruled out.
It's
the Commanders are now 3-4. Is this season lost for Washington?
It depends how long Daniels is out. And, I mean, Scary Terry's still not playing, and they're missing so many people. It's just an injury bug has gotten them.
And they're the next 3 weeks, so they're at the Chiefs on Monday night, then they're home against the Seahawks, and home against the Lions. So the next 3 weeks...
it might be... I wouldn't say the season's over for them, but I'd say the division is over for them. They're not going to catch the Eagles.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
The Cowboys... The Bears' loss was the one that hurt because the Cowboys' loss, if, let's say, Daniels doesn't get injured and they lose that game, it's a division game. Weird things happen in division games. Those two teams usually split regardless. But the Bears won 2 weeks ago where they led by 2, I think, had the ball at midfield and were driving to just run the clock out, and Jaden Daniels fumbled the ball and allowed the Bears to then go kick a field goal to win the game. That is one loss that's really going to haunt them, I think. And if they miss the playoffs, they're going to look back to that game specifically. All right, let's go to college football here, okay? And we won't spend a ton of time on college football because we do have our college football show, but I want to talk about a few things, and the place I want to start is
you had to get the paper back.
Yeah, I threw it away because I thought it was my sports betting ticket on the Swan Dive, but I actually need this paper. So crankle this up. Penn State job is open. Going into last week, the name we were hearing as the favorite was good old Matt Rule at Nebraska. Well, Matt Rule went out as an 8.5-point favorite against Minnesota on the road and got absolutely blanked. It was 24-6. They didn't score an offensive touchdown the entire game.
I still can't understand that. The line was really is that really what the line was?
The line was 8.5.
How?
I don't know what it closed, but
Nebraska's looked okay, but how is it? I mean, I get they were playing okay, but they lost to Michigan at home. Right?
I'm sorry, 6.5. 6.5. It's a little different.
It's even then. That's still shocking to me. But yes, laid an egg.
No, they did. Who do you think gets the Penn State job? We know now, and I'll mention this. Bailey brought this up before the show. You look at a guy like a Kurt Cignetti, and I heard Cignetti talking about his talking about this in an interview a couple days ago, that he thought he was going to stay at James Madison forever. And then he ended up leaving and taking the Indiana job.
How old is Cignetti?
I want to say he is in his late 60s. Let me see. He is 64.
He's not leaving Indiana.
He just signed an extension.
Well, yeah, I didn't know that, but I'm just saying, at that age and what he's built, he's number 2 in the country right now. Why roll the dice and try to go to Penn State? And
Exactly.
Make it work? It makes zero sense. And especially with the current climate of the Big Ten. As long as he's going to be in the playoff every year. So
he is going to make, I believe it's, Bailey, correct me if I'm wrong, is it $10 million a year on average? Is that right? 8 to 10? Yeah. I think it varies by year, but it goes up significantly each year, and it extends, let's see, all the way through 2032, I believe. And so, or was it a 10-year? Was it a 10-year extension? It was a ridiculous contract regardless. But here's what
he might be dead before that contract.
He
might die on us.
8-year contract. So it is through 2032. But what it brings up is this, and this is going to lead us into kind of the topic of jobs here in college football. And we talked about this when the Bama job opened a couple years ago, and Kalen DeBoer took it. Alabama offered that job to a lot of people, or they were looking at a lot of people. We heard Sarkisian from Texas. We heard Norvell, Florida State. We heard Kiffin from Ole Miss. And whether they actually offered the job to those guys or not, which I think they did, I don't know in today's climate, especially with, and I know it's not set in stone and there's ways around it, but there's somewhat of a salary cap. There is money being spent at a lot of schools in similar fashion now. It's evened the playing field to an extent. And so when you leave a school like in Indiana, and not that Penn State's a huge, huge high expectations, it is. It's not necessarily Alabama. But are we going to see coaches stay in places like in Indiana or like an Ole Miss in Lane Kiffin's case, as opposed to going from Indiana to Penn State, or from Ole Miss to Florida, which we'll get into in a second?
Yes.
Do you think guys are going to continue to do that, given what we've seen, the new playoff system, how money is spent, all of these things? Is that going to continue to happen? Or are we going to see less movement of guys to these big, big jobs if you have a good job to just like the most prestigious job? Because why move there with the pressure of winning when you probably have the same resources or close to it at the other place?
The problem is, to answer your question, yes, there's going to be a lot more people staying. The problem with the Penn State job, I think ultimately, I think I told you this when we were in here the other day. I don't know if we said it on the air, but I was going through the odds on the Penn State job, and I think Matt Rule will get the job. I think that's who they're going to ultimately hire. Could be wrong there.
You think they're still going to hire him?
Yes, because I think the AD likes him a lot. The AD hired him at Temple. They've been friends forever. He is a Penn State alum. I think I think Rule ends up there. I will say this. The Penn State job, in my opinion, it's a no-win situation because the Penn State people have gotten delusional enough that they think they should be beating Ohio State, or at least splitting that series. Like when they play Ohio State, James Franklin, say what you want about him. Of course, he never won a big game, and he couldn't do it. And then he needed to be fired after losing this stretch. He needed to be gone, but it's just unrealistic. Penn State cannot compete with Ohio State year in, year out. They could be close to Ohio State. They might beat them once every 3 or 4 years, you know what I mean? But they're not ultimately going to be better than Ohio State. It seems like these Penn State people, it's gotten to the point where it's like, oh, we need to be competing with Oregon and Ohio State. It's not realistic. It's just not. I know people are like, oh, it's Penn State. It's not the 80s anymore. Yes, it's a high-profile job. It is not Oregon. It is not Ohio State. And they don't spend money like those two schools. They spend money, but they don't spend $40 million a year on their roster. They don't do it.
Yeah, I know. I agree with everything you said. I think the fact that Indiana's been doing so well worked against James Franklin in the sense it's like, well,
Correct.
They're winning. Like, Why can't you win?
Yeah.
Right?
And Cignetti's obviously does a fantastic job and can build programs like, nobody else.
And he sees what you see because he could have not signed that extension and gone to Penn State.
Yeah.
But he's getting, what the money he's going to get at Indiana, he's not going to get much more, if more at all, at Penn State. So why go there?
And
you've gone and done the hard part. You've built this base of winning. You've changed the culture. You're getting recruits that are good enough to compete and now beat teams like in Oregon, in Autzen, right? You're at the top of the Big Ten. Not to mention they let him schedule whoever the fuck he wants so they can run through these shit teams early in the year and then just play shitty Big Ten schedule, and they'll get to the playoff every damn year.
Yeah, there's something to be said about it. Like at Ole Miss, we kind of talked off, before the podcast about it. If I'm Lane Kiffin, I'm not leaving. There's no
that was the next one I wanted to talk.
upside from leaving Ole Miss to Florida. And Lane Kiffin can easily negotiate. He could go interview with Florida and say, look, this is the money they're offering me. This is what they're going to pay our players. I need you guys, the boosters and whoever, to commit to spending that much money, and I will stay here. I want to stay here. I'm happy here. But I also want to win a national championship. Not to mention, it's just a gravy train with biscuit wheels job because it's like Indiana. He's completely turned, the culture around there. They're good, but you're never going to get run out of town for not beating Alabama. You're not expected to beat Alabama. You're not expected to beat these, Georgia. You're not. If you win those games, great. And you make the playoff, it's like winning the freaking Super Bowl. It's just a far, far better job than going to Florida. Florida, who ran Dan Mullen out of town for going 10-2.
Yeah.
You talk about delusional fucking fan bases. It's ridiculous. So it's like, and they expect to go back to the Urban Meyer days where he had Timmy Tebow leading the convicts and people are getting killed. People are getting killed on the weekend and paying millions of dollars under the table. You got the Pounceys and fucking, of course, who could forget Aaron Hernandez? You got them all out there. It's just different. Florida's not going to return to that. They're not.
Yeah.
Maybe if they get the perfect hire and it's a perfect storm, but I don't think so, man.
I
don't think so. Look at Mike Norvell at Florida State. He gets all the money, and they bring people in, and they still fucking suck.
Yeah, they have gone basically full transfer portal. They almost do no high school recruiting, and that's proven to just be not. You can't do that.
Correct.
You can do it if you have. You can go and lean heavily on the portal if you have established high school recruits. That they're essentially rentals is what they are, and that is why when the going gets rough, they're losing these games to Stanford because they don't give a fuck when they've lost 2 or 3 games.
And guess what? They don't care about Florida State.
Right. When they beat Alabama, everything's great, sure. But the second they lose to Virginia, and now they've lost 2 or 3 in a row, and they're playing Stanford, who they're an 18-point favorite, nobody gives a fuck. They're not buying in anymore. Same shit. It sucks, but that's his own fault for building that way. And it's not like there's not good players in Florida. It's not like the University of Florida is taking all the best recruits in Florida anymore, right? It's different. You should be able to win at Florida State. You should be able to recruit high school players at Florida State from the state of Florida from the South. It's ridiculous. Losing now, I would fire Mike Norvell. And I've been a Mike Norvell guy. I think he's a great play caller. He doesn't know how to build a program. He doesn't. He's maybe better off going to like a school like a Memphis where he was before. That's where maybe he can have success again. I don't think he's a Power 5 guy. He did a heck of a job the year he had Jordan Travis, but Jordan Travis masked a lot of the issues, and it's starting to become apparent to me that he's not as good as I thought he was. One other one I'll mention, LSU. LSU loses to Vanderbilt last week, and I thought that this was indicative of where Brian Kelly believes he's at. Brian Kelly is volatile. Brian Kelly is harsh. He is not good with the media. And he comes out after a loss to Vanderbilt. Well, I don't know when the last time they beat LSU, but I think it was like 60-plus years. And
I hate that, by the way, because Vanderbilt's good this year. I get it, though. I get they're like, you can't lose to Vanderbilt. Well, guess what? Vanderbilt's beating the shit out of everybody.
No,
Clark Lee's done a fantastic job.
So
that's why I hate that, but I get what you're saying.
I completely
the LSU
agree.
fan base is like, you can't lose to Vanderbilt. Right. It's like Vanderbilt has looked better and is better than LSU, and they have been all year.
They are better than LSU, and that's why they were favored in the game.
Correct.
But I thought it was funny that Kelly in his press conference comes out, and the first thing he says is, I want to thank the fans. That was awesome to see all the fans in the stadium that showed up. I mean, he's like, obviously we would have liked to give them a win and give them it was the most bullshit, inauthentic, because here's the thing. Brian Kelly came into LSU and did nothing to connect with that community. And so basically, when you're volatile like that and you haven't made that effort and you're in a place like LSU where they want that, when you start to lose, it's easy to jump on the back. And now, in retrospect, he's realizing, now, this loss doesn't look that bad if they like me. But if they don't like me, now they're like, well, you lost to Vanderbilt and you lost again this year. And to be fair, the expectations were high for LSU this year. Garrett Nussmeier, according to basically every person in college football, even though I didn't believe it, thought he was, besides Arch, the best prospect. He was one of the best, if not the most proven quarterback in the SEC. He's been terrible. They haven't had a 100-yard rusher in 17 games. Brian Kelly has not done a good job at LSU. I understand the buyout is not there. He is coaching for his job the rest of this season. Mark my words. He is. If he loses this week, if they lose this week, they're a 2.5-point underdog at home to A&M. I believe under Kelly, they're 17-1 under the lights in Death Valley. They lose to A&M this week, they'll have 3 losses. After starting the season in the top 10, after starting the season 4-0, they'll have lost 3 of 4 to Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, and A&M, and then they go on the road to Alabama, who looks like one of the best teams in the country next week. So if they lose, to me, I'm not saying they will fire him if he loses to number 3 A&M. They won't. But if he does, the writing's on the wall there for him to get out of town, because they will lose to Alabama then, in which case they will have 4 losses, and now they're going to be coming home to Arkansas with a bunch of dudes whose season is over, and Arkansas's not good, but they're playing better football. And all of a sudden you're like, well, you lose the 3 in a row, you lose to Arkansas, and it becomes 4 straight losses and 5 of 6. He is fired. I don't care what his buyout is. If they lose 5 of 6, if they lose the next 3, which is legitimately possible, he's gone. He's absolutely out of town. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I think they're going to – I used to not think so. I think they're going to – I think they've figured out – I think that if he loses even 2 more games and he has 4 losses, he's going to get fired. It's just a identity problem with the program. He is the – and I think whoever the AD is there that hired him, he's going to get run out of town. It's the worst hire in the last 30 years in football. It doesn't – I don't know what they were trying to do. It's just the worst – with the crazy, happy-go-lucky Cajun good time fans with Brian Kelly, who's just, by all accounts, an absolute scumbag, decent football coach, but it doesn't work.
Right.
Nothing about the relationship works. I think they should just go, and I really do think this, fire Brian Kelly. Coach O would work for fucking basically free.
Oh, my God.
He's already said he wants to do it.
Stop. Please stop.
Why? They love him there.
He's so bad.
It doesn't matter. He can recruit. Guess what? He won a fucking national championship with Joe Burrow doing nothing. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just you get the right team in there.
Yeah, I agree, but
that's it. You get Coach O in there. He's like the king of the swamp, like the fucking Tiger King right here. He doesn't have to know football. He doesn't have to coach anything. You just get good coordinators and you let him do his thing.
Well,
say what you want about Coach O. People love playing for him. Is he a good football coach? No, that doesn't matter.
I agree, but in these last 2 seasons, they went 11-12 with a missed bowl game and a loss in the Texas Bowl.
11-12? Oh, you're saying the last 2
years they went 11-12.
Yeah, I mean,
with a missed bowl game and a loss in the Texas Bowl.
I'm obviously kidding about Coach O, but he would do it for free. So
he probably would.
That's the great thing about the buyout. You buy him out, at least bring Coach O back. You get good press conferences, and people would want to go play for him.
I thought maybe Joe Brady was the one they would hire, but and apparently Joe Brady is currently the odds-on favorite for the Penn State job, which that would make no sense to me. Matt Rule is the second favorite. It's plus 150 for Joe Brady, plus 200 for Matt Rule, and then Fran Brown is another name that you're hearing for Florida and for Penn State. That's the coach of Syracuse, who is currently 3-4.
The guy that had him running sprints after they went to overtime and won with him.
Yes, the guy.
That's going to work. Whoever hires him, that's going to work out real well.
I don't understand people. I don't understand college football.
I would hire. I know you don't like him. I would hire Brom before the Brown guy.
Oh yeah, no, I would too.
I mean, I think he is a dark horse for the Florida job. I think a lot of people like him. Brandon Walker was talking about that the other day. It's like, and I don't necessarily like all his takes. But he's right about 2 things. That Brian Kelly was the worst hire ever at LSU, and he's been saying that since the beginning of the year. He goes, it doesn't make any sense. And then and a lot of people like Brom, but I would. Brom is much more likely to get that job than Fran Brown at Florida. That's for sure.
Yeah. There's a great video of Jeff Brom where he played in the XFL, and I think he
Oh, did he really?
He got hit so hard. It was one of the worst concussions ever, and he is playing the next week, and he comes out and they go, after taking that vicious hit last week, Jeff, how are you out here right now? And he's like, well, answer that with 2 questions. Number 1, is this the XFL? And number 2, do I have a pulse? And then walked off. It was the best interview I've ever seen.
What the fuck did he even play?
He played quarterback.
That's right. I remember him.
He was a quarterback.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's a trip. Okay. Anything else? College football
World Series. We got Dodgers. We got Toronto. It's a lose-lose for me. I can't root for any Canadians, but I certainly can't root for the Dodgers. So I'm going for the Canadians.
Wow, he's going against America.
Yes. Yep. Well,
so
really,
you hate California more than you do Canada.
No, I don't hate California. I hate LA.
Just LA.
And the Dodgers, just in general. It's easy to hate the Dodgers. Spend the most money in baseball. Listen, the Blue Jays are a likable team.
Yeah, they got
the fat guy that scored on the right. I forget what his name, something Kirk. They're like, he's the slowest runner in baseball. And he's coming, and they got the towels out, fanning them in the dugout. Vladdy Jr., George Springer. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I hope the Blue Jays win it. They won't. The Dodgers will go back to back.
What's the series price on it?
No idea.
Probably minus 300.
No, not that many.
You think they're not that big of a favorite?
You might as well just bet the Dodgers if you're you, because it's probably like minus 180.
I already have them plus 250 for $50. So
there you go.
I took them at middle way through the season, so I already have them.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
And then how about our San Antonio Spurs starting tonight, baby, against the Dallas Mavericks?
I'm just edging my seat. I will watch a lot of Spurs early. I am excited. I will say I am excited about the Spurs team. I think we're going to be. I'm going to call it now. We are going to be the 6th seed in the West, and we'll avoid the play-in.
I think we will get in the playoffs. I don't know if we're
5 or a 6 is my guess.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get in on the with the play-in or if we're gonna be in as a legit playoff.
Hopefully, Wemby can stay healthy.
But currently, it looks like our win total projection over under, what would you think it is?
I think it's going to be 40.
44.5 is our projected win total. So, or is that's the over under?
Yeah. So that would say 45 and 37 would be that would be good enough to get you into the play-in for sure.
45 and 37 might
maybe
get you into the 6 or the 5 seed. Yeah, I mean, I think I think that would probably get you in the playoffs squarely. We won't talk a lot of NBA on this show other than maybe some bad beats.
Well, we will.
We will
talk as football's over.
We do more college basketball in San Antonio.
But we're
Spurs,
more of a WNBA show.
Of course we are. And I wish that they had the WNBA now. I wish it was year-round, to be honest. I really do. Yeah, year-round Caitlin Clark. How could you not love that?
Me too.
Didn't have a WNBA or not today, but that's all right. We'll do it next time. Anything else you got before we leave?
Bailey, you got anything over there? Any new hot black rappers the people at home need to know about? What? Wait, what?
Oh, the anchor down, he says.
Yeah.
Anchor
listen,
down for Vandy.
He's on cloud 9. He could tell you that he had belief that they would be in the top 10. He didn't, but they're there. Clark Lee, promises made, promises delivered.
By the way, where Dylan
in the top 10,
like Colin Coward, where Dylan was right. I said Vanderbilt was gonna go 9-3. I didn't say I said they had missed the playoff, but I said they go 9-3. And I said that, and I bet they're over on their win total. We already know that. But I also said last week they're going to beat LSU, and then when they do, they will be ranked in the top 10, and they are. How about Vanderbilt? How about the Commodores? And when they beat Missouri this week, they're going to be in the top 7. And then we got a matchup next week in Austin with the Texas Longhorns. And it could be a huge game in the SEC if both teams take care of business this week. And I don't know if we're going to actually go to it, but
we might be
going to be a fun game. Yeah. All right, that's all we got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time.